Welcome to the Success Sensei Podcast for anyone interested in success, happiness, and balance. We'll teach you how to be a black belt at life. And now, your host, former professional fighter, multiple world champion, entrepreneur, and investor, Robert Devane.
This is Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei, helping you to win at life one kick and punch at a time. And this is the Friday Blitz.
The Success Sensei Friday Blitz coming at ya.
Does your self-belief match your ability? This is very much on my mind because today we had a belt grading at my dojo, and at least a handful of people, if not more, had more physical ability than self-belief. I could see that physically they didn't struggle as much as it was their mind that was holding them back. They didn't actually realize that they had as much ability or the ability that they do have. So this is probably the case with the majority of people. I know we tell stories about people with very little ability and loads of self-belief, but they are very rare. Most people are the opposite. We all have way more ability than our self-belief. We generally put ourselves down. We don't actually realize we can do as much as we can do. That's why it's fascinating to listen to any biographies or any stories from sports people and where they're humanized, and you realize that they did struggle. While we as viewers looked on and thought, it must be easy for them. They're a different breed of human than we are. When you actually listen to their story, you realize that no, they're exactly like us. And in a way, it's harsh because we realize that we don't have the excuses. They're not actually different breeds of people to us. So we really have more ability than we give ourselves credit for. So how do you match up your self-belief with your ability? Well, one way is to keep practicing what you're doing. Keep practicing and learning within your own subject matter, within the field that you have interest in. And eventually it will match. When you have that self-belief, it will match. Once you know you've done all the preparation, your self-belief will match your ability a little bit more. But I do think that we don't even realize all the things and the extent of the things that we can achieve and the things that we can do. We are a lot stronger mentally and physically than we realize. We can do a lot more than we actually realize or we give ourselves credit for. We look at other people with envy, as if it's okay for them, but we have harder struggles, or we weren't born in the same situation and we can't. We've got all these self-limiting beliefs that we need to at least, you'll never get rid of all of them, but at least control them to some extent so that they don't hinder, and go against what you have the ability to achieve. So I know I'm predominantly talking about sports right now because, as I said, I had a belt grading today and it was very, very obvious to me that people were very good and they just didn't realize they were very good. So they kind of gave into the nerves, they gave into self-doubt. They would demonstrate something, but they would kind of look around with almost a guilty expression on their face, wondering whether they're going to be caught out. So that's the imposter syndrome that I talk about all the time, and the fear of failure and the fear of success, all mixed into one, which can 100% hinder your ability, and 100% knock your own self-belief. So, as I said, the best way to even up your self-belief and your ability is to keep practicing what you're doing. The more practice you put in, the more, even if nothing else changes, when you know you've done the work, you've done everything, you've taken every opportunity to practice or to study or to train, then you know when ultimately when you're standing there and the nerves kick in, your inner voice can answer back. Your negative inner voice, your positive inner voice can answer back saying, you have done the work. And that generally is enough to quell all the negative thoughts so that you can actually continue on the path and do what you were hoping to achieve. So match your self-belief with your ability. Have a look at it. Have a think of it. See where you're at. Do you realize all the things that you can do? If you need motivation, just, as I said, watch some of the biographies. Watch some amazing biographies. I can't think of ones off the top of my head, but I can definitely steer you in the right direction. Ones where you read about people who have literally run a marathon every day for 2 weeks, are ones where people have performed amazing physical feats of endurance. People who have done several Ironmans in quick succession, or have done various mountaineering trips in quick succession. Things that you think wouldn't be possible. You think just to do one of these events would be absolutely mind-blowingly difficult physically and mentally. And then you hear other people doing it, and it really can motivate you and make you realize that the boundaries that you give yourself probably aren't even real. And that reminds me of a quick story. Well, it's not really a story, it's factual. But if you put fleas that hop around into a Tupperware dish or a Tupperware thing, and you put the lid on it, when you take that lid off, the story goes that the fleas can't jump out because they've been trained that they can't jump higher than the lid. And that's what their belief is. If they have a little brain and they have a strong belief system, they can't jump higher than where that lid was before you took it off, because that's what they know as being their limitations. And I do think that's very similar to a lot of us. We actually put these boundaries on ourselves and limitations, and we don't really understand that there's so much more to it until we get a glimpse at somebody else doing something, or we hear someone else doing something, and then maybe that might challenge what we thought our boundaries and what our benchmark is. And that's why you should always be looking at somebody. Give yourself a high benchmark, don't give yourself a low benchmark. If you're going to be comparing or trying to emulate somebody that's more successful than you, go for somebody who's high up there, not just somebody who's very close to you. Go for somebody who high up. If you don't reach those heady heights, at least you will be a hell of a lot further than if you aimed to emulate somebody that was a hell of a lot closer to your own position at the moment. I hope that helps. Hope that helps you to balance out your self-belief versus your ability, and have a think about it and see how it reflects on your own life or your own decisions in the past, as well as your own decisions for the future. So I'm Roundhouse Rob, the Success Sensei. Life is a fight you can enjoy and win. Bowing out.
This has been the Success Sensei, fighting the winning fight. So add us, subscribe, like, and comment. Keep those hands up and keep moving forward.